In 2023, TikTok Shop processed over $20 billion in global sales. In 2024, that figure more than doubled. It is now the fastest growing commerce platform on earth, and most of what it sells comes from a cluster of industrial districts in Guangdong province that most buyers have never heard of and will never think to look up.
This is not a story about social media trends. It is a story about trade infrastructure. TikTok Shop is not a retail platform that happens to have videos. It is a logistics and fulfillment operation that happens to have an entertainment layer on top. And the entertainment layer is precisely what stops most consumers from looking carefully at what they are buying, where it came from, or whether it meets any safety standard in the country they live in. The scale of this economy is not marginal. By volume, TikTok Shop is now a primary channel for cross-border direct-to-consumer commerce, in the same bracket as Temu, Shein, and AliExpress. The difference is that TikTok Shop has recruited millions of Western creators as its unwitting sales force, giving it a social credibility that its competitors spend billions in advertising attempting to replicate. The creator is the shelf, the algorithm is the buyer, the factory is invisible. What makes TikTok Shop structurally different from every previous e-commerce platform is not the algorithm, the video format, or the creator affiliate system individually. It is the combination of all three operating simultaneously. An entertainment engine that generates attention, a social layer that converts attention to purchase intent, and a commerce infrastructure that fulfills that purchase from the cheapest possible origin point before the consumer has had time to reconsider. The entire system is optimized for a single outcome, the moment the consumer taps buy before they have thought about it twice.
The architecture of TikTok Shop is designed to collapse the distance between impulse and transaction. Traditional e-commerce requires a consumer to navigate to a platform, search, evaluate options, and make an active purchasing decision. TikTok Shop removes every one of those steps. The product finds the consumer. The purchase happens in the context of entertainment, not deliberation. This is not a design accident, it is the entire commercial model, and it is working at a scale that has made every other e-commerce platform look carefully at whether their own architecture is moving fast enough. The best-selling products on TikTok Shop are not the best products. They are the products the algorithm has decided to show in the format that psychology predicts will convert to the audience most statistically likely to buy. The consumer experience of discovering a product feels organic. It has been engineered at a level of sophistication that makes organic feel like an understatement. The creator did not choose the product, the algorithm did. The creator chose the commission rate. The affiliate system is the engine of TikTok Shop's growth. Creators are not brand ambassadors in any meaningful sense. They are commission agents operating from a product catalog. The creator's credibility is the distribution mechanism. Their followers are the customer base. Neither the creator nor their audience has visibility into what the product is, where it was manufactured, or whether it meets any regulated safety standard in the destination market. When a consumer buys from TikTok Shop, the information available at the point of purchase is typically a price, a star rating, a review count, a creator recommendation, and a product name that may not correspond to anything independently verifiable. Country of manufacture is absent from most listings. The seller's legal identity is rarely traceable. The path from creator recommendation to manufacturer is, in the majority of cases, not a path the consumer can follow at all.
The live commerce format is the most effective conversion mechanism the platform has yet developed. Artificial urgency through countdown timers, social proof through visible purchase volume, entertainment context decision-making in place of considered evaluation. The consumer's instinct to pause is overridden by the architecture of the format itself. This is not accidental. The format was tested, iterated, and optimized for the specific psychological moment between impulse and hesitation. The creator who promotes a TikTok Shop product earns money when a consumer buys, not when a consumer is satisfied, not when the product is accurately described, not when the product is safe. The sale is the endpoint of the creator's economic relationship with the product. What happens after the consumer clicks buy is, structurally, not the creator's concern. The commission has already been earned. The FTC in the United States requires creators to disclose when they are being compensated for promoting a product. On TikTok Shop, the disclosure is a small text hashtag that appears below the video title. In consumer research studies, a significant majority of viewers either do not notice the disclosure or do not understand that it means the creator is earning commission on every purchase the video generates. The creator's recommendation is indistinguishable from an organic endorsement to the consumer who does not specifically look for the disclosure. When a creator's economic model depends on commission income, the incentive to disclose a product problem runs directly counter to the incentive structure the affiliate system creates. The creator who discovers the product is misrepresented faces a choice: disclose and lose the income, or continue and let the consumer discover it themselves. The TikTok Shop affiliate model has no built-in mechanism that rewards honesty. It rewards conversion. The disclosure decision is left entirely to the individual creator's conscience, in a system designed to minimize the space in which that decision can occur. The creator's liability for what they promote on TikTok Shop is, at this point in the regulatory evolution of social commerce, genuinely unclear. The platform provides a framework of content policies. The FTC provides disclosure requirements. Neither framework adequately addresses the situation where a creator, in good faith or otherwise, promotes a product that is unsafe, misrepresented or manufactured by a seller who is not who they claim to be. The regulatory framework was not designed for an affiliate commerce system operating at this volume.
The TikTok Shop seller ecosystem is not primarily composed of small Western businesses. It is primarily composed of Chinese manufacturers and trading companies, operating under brand names designed to sound American or British, with product listings that omit the country of manufacture, shipping from logistics intermediaries that present a domestic return address, and exploiting a customs exemption that was designed for personal parcels and has become the structural subsidy for an entirely new form of cross-border commerce at commercial scale. The price spread between factory cost and TikTok Shop consumer price contains within it the entire architecture of the hidden economy. The factory sells its output at $4.80. The seller creates a brand identity, writes a product description, sources a creator affiliate, and lists at $29.99. The creator earns $6 in commission. TikTok earns $2 in platform fees. The fulfillment costs $3. The seller nets around $14 on a product the factory made for under $5. Every party in the chain is satisfied with the arrangement. None of them are required to tell the consumer what it is.
The geography of TikTok Shop's supply chain is, whether by design or structural convenience, difficult to trace from the consumer end. The seller presents as a brand. The brand has a TikTok presence, a product identity, and a price point. The product arrives in generic or branded packaging, designed and printed at the same factory, simultaneously supplying 20 other brand identities with the same product in a differently coloured box. The brand is a wrapper. The product is whatever the factory was running that week. The declared customs value on a TikTok Shop parcel is a calculated number, specifically chosen to sit below the import threshold in the destination market. In the UK, this threshold is £135. In the US, it is $800. Below these amounts, goods enter without import duty and without formal review. The practice is widespread enough to have attracted specific attention from HMRC and CBP. It is technically customs fraud, but it happens at a scale and a velocity that means the individual parcel is never worth the cost of pursuing. The system is exploited not by one clever actor. It is exploited by a structural condition where the incentive to undervalue is universal and the enforcement resource is finite.
The de minimis exemption was designed for personal parcels, gifts between individuals, occasional personal purchases. It has become the structural subsidy that makes direct from China social commerce viable at the price points consumers see. Without de minimis, the pricing arithmetic of TikTok Shop collapses. A $20 product attracting 25% import tariff, safety certification costs, and formal customs processing cannot simultaneously support creator commissions, platform fees, and competitive consumer pricing. De minimis is not a footnote in this economy, it is the foundation.
The CBP currently processes approximately 4 million de minimis shipments per day. That figure has tripled in 3 years, driven almost entirely by cross-border e-commerce. The agency's inspection capacity has not tripled. The gap between volume and inspection capacity is where unsafe products, mislabeled goods, and undervalued parcels move through the border without review. This is not a customs enforcement failure. It is a structural resource mismatch created by commerce that grew faster than the law anticipated and faster than Congress has been willing to fund. The political economy of de minimis reform is complicated by a genuine consumer benefit. The person who pays $15 for a kitchen gadget that would cost $45 from a domestic brand is not at the moment of purchase experiencing a policy failure, they are experiencing a bargain. The cost of that bargain in lost tariff revenue, in undercut domestic manufacturing, in safety gaps for unverified products, is absorbed elsewhere by other people in ways that do not appear on a phone screen at the moment of checkout.
In the United States, children's products must meet Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act standards before entering commerce, including lead limits, phthalate restrictions, and small parts testing, documented in a children's product certificate filed with the CPSC. For traditional commercial importers, this is a legal prerequisite enforced at the border. For a Chinese seller shipping individual de minimis parcels, this documentation is effectively unenforceable at the point of entry. The product arrives, the box is opened, the child plays with it, nobody checked. The CPSC recall mechanism assumes a supply chain with an identifiable, reachable manufacturer and a distribution network that can be reversed. Neither condition applies to TikTok Shop's direct-to-consumer model. When a recalled product has been shipped directly from a Chinese factory to 42,000 individual consumers, there is no retailer who can pull it from shelves, no wholesaler who can intercept distribution, no importer of record who can be held accountable. The recall notice goes into the Federal Register. The product continues to exist in 42,000 homes. The seller resets, and the next product is already in the queue.
The cosmetics regulatory gap on cross-border social commerce is significant and documented. In the UK, cosmetics sold to consumers must be registered on the Cosmetics Product Notification Portal and accompanied by a product information file prepared by a qualified assessor. These requirements apply in law to overseas direct-to-consumer sellers. They are effectively unenforceable at the volume of de minimis parcels now entering the UK market. The product that contains a prohibited ingredient at a prohibited concentration is indistinguishable at the border from the one that does not. The individual stories of unsafe products reaching consumers through TikTok Shop are not difficult to find. What is difficult is the systemic response. The enforcement capacity does not exist to match the commerce volume. The legislative reform is slower than the product cycle, and the platform's liability for what its sellers sell is, in most jurisdictions, not yet clearly established in law. Section 230 in the US and its equivalents elsewhere were written before a platform, whose primary function is commerce, became indistinguishable from a retailer.
The grey market that flows through TikTok Shop's platform takes multiple forms. There are outright counterfeit products manufactured to look like branded goods but made without authorization. There are parallel imports, genuine branded products purchased in a low price market and resold into a high price market, undercutting the brand's authorized distribution. And there are factory overruns, excess inventory from authorized manufacturing runs, sold by the factory itself through unofficial channels when the brand is not looking. All three categories are present on TikTok Shop. None are reliably distinguished by the consumer.
The intellectual property enforcement tools available to brand owners on TikTok Shop are reactive and slow. A brand submits a takedown request. The platform reviews it over several days. The listing comes down. The seller creates a new account. The cycle restarts. Brand protection teams at major consumer goods companies report spending more resource on TikTok Shop enforcement than on any other single platform, for a fraction of the authorized sales the platform generates. The cost of protecting intellectual property on TikTok Shop has become a line item in brand budgets that did not exist 3 years ago. It will not get smaller.
The counterfeit problem on TikTok Shop is not unique to TikTok Shop. Amazon, eBay, and Alibaba have all faced significant counterfeit issues at different stages of their development. What is different about TikTok Shop is the speed at which counterfeit products can accumulate social proof. A counterfeit that appears in a creator's video with 3 million views has, in the course of 1 week, established more consumer trust than a legitimate product might build through a year of advertising spend. The algorithm does not distinguish between authentic and counterfeit. It distinguishes between content that converts and content that does not.
The consumer who receives a counterfeit product from TikTok Shop occupies a difficult position. They may not be certain the product is counterfeit. The differences are often subtle enough to require expert assessment. They may not know who to report it to. They may not understand that the seller's TikTok Shop account is not a domestic business with a legal obligation to respond to a complaint. The brand that has been counterfeited has a legal team and a platform relationship. The consumer has a dispute portal and a 5-day response window. The asymmetry between those two positions is not accidental. It is a structural feature of a marketplace where liability has not yet been assigned. The competitive disruption that TikTok Shop is inflicting on established sellers is structural, not cyclical. A traditional Amazon seller in the United States pays import tariffs of up to 25% on Chinese manufactured goods, warehousing costs, Amazon fulfillment fees, and pay-per-click advertising costs. A Chinese manufacturer selling the same product via TikTok Shop pays none of those inputs. No tariff via de minimis, no warehousing via direct ship, no advertising via algorithmic amplification, and no upfront commission via creator affiliates triggered only on successful sale. The market dynamic TikTok Shop has introduced is regulatory arbitrage at commercial scale. The Chinese direct-to-consumer seller is not operating on a level playing field. They are operating without the cost structures that Western brands bear by legal obligation. The tariffs, the safety certifications, the import documentation, the consumer liability that accrues to a legally registered entity in the destination market. Until those costs apply equally to all sellers reaching consumers in a given market, the structural advantage persists and compounds with every passing quarter. The strategic options available to legitimate brands competing with TikTok Shop's factory direct sellers are limited and expensive. They can invest in brand loyalty and community, a long-term strategy that offers no short-term relief. They can join TikTok Shop themselves, which means accepting a commission structure that does not solve their cost problem on the same platform that's undercutting them. They can lobby for regulatory intervention, which is the right answer, operating on a timeline that may arrive after the category damage is already structural. Or they can do nothing and watch market share erode to sellers who do not play by the same rules, in a race they cannot win at current cost structures. What TikTok Shop has done to the direct-to-consumer market is not simply add a new channel, it has reset price expectations at a level that cannot be matched by any seller bearing the regulatory, tariff, and fulfillment costs required to legally import and sell products in Western markets. The consumer who paid $15 for a kitchen gadget on TikTok Shop does not subsequently expect to pay $45 for the equivalent from a domestic brand. The price anchor has moved. The brand trying to justify the higher price is now explaining safety certification, import compliance, domestic warehousing, things the consumer did not ask about, does not know they were paying for, and is not sure they need. The aggregate consumer harm from TikTok Shop at its worst is not a dramatic fraud. It is a compounding accumulation of small disappointments, a product slightly worse than advertised, a delivery slightly slower than promised, a refund process slightly more difficult than it should be, a creator who promoted the product and has moved on to the next commission before the consumer has opened the box, individually manageable. Collectively, across tens of millions of transactions per month, a structural consumer harm the current framework cannot address at the speed the commerce layer is moving. A review on TikTok Shop is not an independent signal. It is a data point in a system that multiple parties have significant financial incentive to manipulate. Review management services operating in the same Shenzhen logistics ecosystem that fulfills the orders provide a volume of positive reviews sufficient to maintain a 4.7 rating at a cost per review that is a fraction of the commission earned per sale. The consumer reading the reviews is reading a score that reflects the seller's willingness to pay for reputation management, not their product's actual quality. The platform will not self-regulate at the speed required. The economic incentive is too large, the regulatory cycle is too slow. And the architecture of TikTok Shop, the algorithm that finds the buyer, the creator who provides the credibility, the de minimis parcel that bypasses the checkpoint, is specifically designed to convert before scrutiny can intervene. The loophole is profitable, the safety gap is convenient. The creator layer provides plausible deniability for every party in the chain except the consumer. The consumer opened the box. Whatever was inside it is now their problem. The algorithm does not have a policy position on de minimis reform. It does not have a view on consumer protection, product safety, or the long-term health of domestic manufacturing. It has an optimization function. The optimization function rewards content that converts. Everything else, the factory, the safety gap, the regulatory blind spot, the 38% decline in a category, the 42,000 households with a recalled product that was never recovered, is a variable the algorithm does not measure and therefore does not act on. The product finds the consumer buys, the system works. The question of what the system is for is not a question the system asks.